Okay. There's two formulas that I reckon you may have used in the past. All right. This is the one that I would have thought you would have used most, or something like that. All right. Hands up if you've used that before or ever seen that formula before, PRT or PRT over 100. Have any of you seen that before? Only one of you. Okay. We are starting from scratch. That's all right. The one the book uses is one that looks like this. Okay, pin. I don't mind which one you use. Obviously, I assumed wrongly that most of you wouldn't have used that in the past, or at least seen that before. If you haven't, that's okay. What all of this relates to is having a sum of money and either investing it in a bank or investing it somewhere or borrowing it off someone. Okay? Now, if I borrow, Luke, can you pay attention, please? If I borrow $10,000 off Isaac, okay, he's a good bloke. Isaac is going to give me $10,000. He's going to want more than $10,000 back. Okay, he's going to want $10,000, plus he's going to want some of this stuff, which is interest. Okay? So, in the end, I may give him $16,000 back for the fact that he lent me $10,000. Alright? There's got to be some benefit to him, doesn't it? Alternatively, if you have a lump sum of $10,000 and you go and put it in the bank, the reason you put it in the bank is they use your $10,000. You know, like if you had $10,000 in $1 coins, you don't get every one of your $1 coin back. They're not yours. You give them to the bank, and the bank on-sells them to maybe Jazz, who needs $10,000 for a new car. Okay, so Luke, your $10,000 is now in Jazz's hands particularly, all right, and she's used that to spend on a car. Now, you loaning it to the bank, you expect more than $10,000 back too, okay? So they too will give you interest. So it's either loaning or borrowing. Now, here's the thing with the beauty of banks is when you loan it to the bank, they give you $14,000 back. So you got 10,000 plus the other 4, you got 4,000 more. That's pretty good, okay? But what they do to Jazz is they say you pay 16,000 back. So you pay back the 10 plus the other 6. What happens? The bank makes a profit. Yeah, bank makes a profit of $2,000. And basically that's what they're constantly doing. When you borrow from the bank, the interest rate, often looking at like that or like that in these formulas, the rate being there or the I, the interest rate when borrowing is a lot higher than the interest rate when you loan your money to a bank. All right, and that's why banks come out with a quarterly profit of record profits of $4 trillion or whatever they do. All right, it's on the basis of some of that stuff. All right, so all of what we're talking about is either loaning a bank some of your money or borrowing some money off a bank. All right, now these represent certain things in a question. So the P always relates to the principal. Okay, principal, that is either the money being loaned or the money being borrowed. All right, so the principal is always in the form of dollars. Okay, is this new to anybody? It is to most. Good. The rate, or I, is just the interest that the bank's going to loan it to you, the interest the bank's going to pay you for that loaning that money, or the interest is going to charge Jazz to pay it back. So this is always as a percentage, all right? And we know that if it's 9%, that means it's 9 over 100. Okay, so that's that bit there, or this bit here, being 9%, all right? And the last thing being T, or number of periods, T or N, that's just the time or the number of periods. So how long is Jazz going to borrow it for? how much is Luke going to loan that $10,000 to the bank for? So this is generally time, but the important thing is it's time in years, all right? And this is really important, this factor, that it's in years, all right? Let's go to a question to see what that looks like. Okay, so here's a question now. For simple interest, payable on an investment, so you're putting it somewhere, you're investing it somewhere. So this is the Luke side of the story. He's investing $20,000 at 12% per annum for 4 years. All right. So if we go back to our other sheet in a minute, our P is there, our I is there, and our N is there. All right. The principal being the amount of money, the interest rate, and the time. P, I, or N. All right. Because there's no sign in between these three things, what do we have to do? Multiply. Okay, so the principal being $20,000. The rate, what do you notice about the rate? It's a multiplier. All right, and all they've done is 12 divided by 100, because that's where that comes from. And the years is 4 because it's 4 years. Okay, that should be relatively easy to you. What they're saying there, all right, this is Luke's situation. Luke loans $20,000. He gets $20,000 back, not his original one, because somebody else has used that. He gets his $20,000 back, plus the interest he receives back is $9,600. How much does he get back in total, Charlotte?
Plus the 2.
Yeah, which is?
29,600.
Yeah, that's right. So he's going to give him $20,000 4 years ago at 12%. He's going to get back $29,600. He's done nothing. He could have sat on his backside for all that time. Even better, hey Luke? Yeah. He gave him $20,000 4 years ago. He goes in there 4 years later. He said, "I want the money back." I go, "No worries. Here you go. Here's your $29,600." Okay. Just remember, this interest is never greater than the interest that they on sell his $20,000 to somebody else to borrow. You know, they give it to Jazz to use. They'll charge theirs 16%. They've got to make a profit in this process somehow, don't they? So the important point is this one, really, the N being a period of time. And I'll show you why. Always remember that it's a period of years. And the reason being, in these questions, question 2 here. In question 2, they say, find the simple interest payable on a loan of $2,000. So this is the Jazz, she's loaning money. $2,000 at 1.4% over, now this is in months. All right. Remember back on this sheet, we said it has to be a fraction of a year. Has to be in years. So 9 months is not a year. It's not what we call a year. But what it is it's 9 out of 12. There are 12 months in a year. So we make that fraction 9 over 12. Okay? We can simplify that. You've been doing it in previous exercises. What's 9 over 12 simplified, Lockie?
3 over...
9 divided by 3 was 3. 3 over 4. Divided that by 3. Divided that by 3, Lockie. I assume that's how you got the 3. Unless it was whispered to. No. So in a more simple term, that's 3/4 of a year. Okay, 3/4 of a year. So you're multiplying 3/4 by, are you multiplying it by 1.4, Teach?
Yes. No.
No, you're not. Good. Got to multiply. What's that, Maddie?
Sorry. Yeah, 0.014.
Yep. Okay. All we did was 1.4 divided by 100. And then you're multiplying it by 2,000. What have I done there? I've done the N, I've done the I, and I've done the P. Just done it backwards a bit. Okay? That'll give you how much interest on that loan. Okay? So the only challenge is when it's in months, it's got to be as a fraction of 12 because there's 12 months in 1 year. We want to do it always of a fraction of 1 year. Okay? What would be our fraction here where it's 18 months? What would be the fraction there? Luke?
1 whole and 6 blocks.
It could be that. Let's start there. 18 over 12. Just always put it over 12. Okay? 12's into 18 goes 1 with how many left over? You're saying is 6. So 1.5. Yeah. Finally, I won't do that. Finally, what if we had 200? We put it in for 221 days. Tani, what would we do there?
Take it away. No, I don't know.
You probably do, but Jazz,
Take it. You put it over 365.
you put 221 days over 365. Why? Because that is the proportion of the year when we're talking about days. It's always of the proportion of the year. All right. Now, before, so that explanation will be up. There's 2 explanations now on the YouTube channel. All right. One's called Alert. That was meant for yesterday. So you can watch that again if you need to. Before you do any of that, I want you to answer this, what looks a very easy question. If an amount is increased by 18% and the resulting amount is then decreased by 18%, do we return to the original amount? Okay. So for that one, let's use $10,000, everybody. Okay. Do that one first and then move into simple interest. If you're up to it. If you're not up to it, obviously you don't go there. Is there any questions with that, or can I explain it better? Anyone have any questions, whether to use PIN or PRT? Probably because most, if not all of you, have never seen PRT before. Use PIN. Okay. Question about this? Yep, I'll be. No worries, I'll come to you now. Okay, so Harriet really loved snakes. For her birthday in 2009, she was given a carpet python by her uncle. She measured its length on her birthday, calculated the percentage by which the snakes increased. And we're using this formula, multiplier equals, what's the formula?
That's not the one we had to do.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, which one are you saying, sorry?
4.
Oh, 4, sorry. So calculate the percentage change in road deaths from May 2010 to May 2011 for every state and territory. Okay, so it's still using that formula. Multiplier equals, and what does that equal? You should know that formula now.
0.77.
No, what's the, it's new amount, isn't it?
29 over old amount.
Yeah. Okay, so always using that formula will stand you in good stead for this. So if we just pick New South Wales, for example, the new amount being 26 over the old amount, 38. Alright. Progress it from there, and I'll come across to you anyway.